Hours after the resignation of Rivers State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Zacchaeus Adangor, another commissioner in the oil-rich South State, Isaac Kamalu, has exited the cabinet of Governor Siminalayi Fubara. Like Adangor, Kamalu, in a letter to the secretary to the Rivers State government, Tammy Danagogo, on Wednesday, rejected his redeployment from the Finance Ministry to the Ministry of Employment, Generation and Economic Empowerment. Kamalu cited absence of peace in Rivers State despite the peace pact by President Bola Tinubu last December. He said it was impossible for him to give his best in an atmosphere of rancor. And joining us now to discuss this and more, I'm joined by good governance advocate and executive director, the Extra Step Initiative, Eugene Abels. Eugene, it's good to have you. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with us this morning. Let's get started very quickly. And I would like to ask you about the significance of the resignation of Zacchaeus Adangor and as well as Isaac Kamalu from Governor Fubara's cabinet in Rivers State.
Well, what has transpired is within the rights of the governor as the chief executive of the state. It is normal for there to be, for a chief executive to reshuffle, rejig his administration from time to time. There's nothing illegal about it. There's nothing political about it. It's a decision for efficiency. And if you read the write-up of those who resigned, when they came into office, we knew them as technocrats. They've become political. That's why when they were asked to be restated, my opinion was that if I were Prof, the former Attorney General, I've served for 8 years and it has become political. There was no need for him to come back because the fundamentals of any administration is the SSG, the Attorney General, and the Commissioner for Finance and the Accountant General. These positions, even when people are being appointed or made to become governors, they normally allow those people to choose their own people. These people were chosen by the former Governor Wike, and they have not shown too much respect for the present administration. So naturally, in obedience to the political settlement, they should have been fired. But I think the governor decided to reassign them so that he can run his administration seamlessly.
Let's talk about implications. What implications does their rejection of redeployment hold for the political landscape of Rivers State, particularly regarding the power dynamics between the current governor and the pact and the ex-governor?
The implication here is that the governor wants to make his government efficient. I mentioned those fundamental positions, which most of them were occupied. Don't forget that 90% of them were appointed by the former governor. He wants to make his government efficient because the secrets of the government is between the Accountant General, the Commissioner for Finance, the Attorney General, and the Secretary to Government. And the implication is that he's taking control of his government by bringing in his own people so that he can work at the kind of speed and give his administration the kind of color he wants to get it.
Right. Let's bring the peace pact by President Bola Tinubu. How does it play into the situation, and what does its apparent failure, I'm going to put that in quotation mark, to bring lasting peace, say about the underlying political tensions that we're seeing in Rivers State?
Well, the peace pact, it was a political settlement. It has not been, sorry, it has not been breached. The governor was asked to restate them. He restated them. The governor has not fired them. He has only reassigned them to also other positions within the cabinet. They are not out of the cabinet. For them, the bigger implication is that these men owe their allegiance to a particular person and not to the people of Rivers State. So their objectives are clearly personal and selfish. So they're adults, so they've taken the decision to leave the administration. The governor did not ask them to leave. He only asked them to be reassigned. Some of them, when they came in the previous administration, they did not hold the same positions all through. It is a normal thing for cabinets to be reshuffled. There's nothing wrong with it. The governor has shown good faith by adhering, by licking his own wounds, by going to reinstate those people. Now they have just only been reassigned, so there's no problem. And when people speak about peace, I think that in Nigerians we like to use that word peace. When you want to talk about peace, talk about equity and justice. This is the administration of somebody else. He will be responsible for whatever happens. Wike will not be held responsible for the next these current 4 years that are running. It is him and his father's name that will be responsible. May we allow him to breathe so that he can be measured accordingly. He's done nothing wrong. It is not illegal. It is not politically incorrect. It's absolutely correct. All he did was reassign them. If he had removed them from the cabinet, then we say he's going against the agreement. There's nothing unpeaceful about his actions.
What factors might have contributed to the absence of peace in Rivers State, as cited by Isaac Kamalu, despite efforts by political leaders to foster reconciliation?
Excuse me. There's peace in Rivers State. It is about people are seeking for political relevance, and they still have it. It's for them to play within the ambit of the law. Whether you like President Tinubu or not, he is in charge. Final decisions lie with him. Whether you like it or not, Governor Nyesom Wike is in charge and will be responsible for whatever happens in Rivers State. So for all employees and all former elected officials struggling to be very relevant, it should be at the whims and caprices of the present administration. All must be played within the ambit of law. There is peace. It is for public institutions to ensure that politicians, whether on the same side or on the weaker side, do not take things in their hands. And it's for public institutions to be proactive, to react when the laws are being breached so that we don't have a constitutional crisis. Before we talk of peace, we should ensure that all those who are supposed to do those things which are within the law and which requires equity are done. When you do the right thing within the law and government institutions of government act accordingly, naturally peace will come. It is when you begin to look the other way and begin to bend the rules, then we begin to talk absence of peace. There's no trouble, there's peace. People are going to work, people are being paid their salaries. Even these people, if you remember River State of 2015, 2016, 2017, they wouldn't, during that period of great tension in River State, they wouldn't even be staying, they would even be walking around the streets. Things have changed drastically. People have learned their lessons. And for those who have left power, they should rest and serve wherever they are being served. River State does not belong to people, to a person. River State belongs to the people, made up of about 26 ethnic nationalities. Let us leave it there. Thank you.
Many thanks to you, Eugene, for coming on. We appreciate you for doing this with us.
Thank you, Judith.